Okay. Around 2022 in the Philippines, it was still the pandemic. People were still restricted, and something unusual happened. There was this lady, she was about, I think, 30 years old in a community close to our house, and she started a community pantry. So, a pantry, there's a table that she placed outside her house, and she put some food and other things to eat out there, fruits, uh, ready to eat noodles, soup, and she put a sign: give what you can and take what you need. She knew when she put that sign that she couldn't put everything that she had there because she will run out. So she invited people to join her on the field by that sign: give what you can, and then also invited people to take what they need. So nice idea, but the cascade effect was viral. It went viral. You know why? Because the table never went empty, and people in the reports were the lines of people giving and taking were very long. In fact, the government was alarmed. They thought it was there was something communist about it, and there were reports that they wanted to duplicate it or stop it or restrict it. But this particular example, and it's so real and so recent, inspires us to think about what's giving and what's taking. Those are two distinct things. So I ask you now to pause and sit. When you're with someone who gives, what's your experience? So think about that line. You're lining up, and there's someone who gives a lot to the table, or a mother taking care of a child and giving that baby all he needs, or a stranger or a friend giving money or food to a stranger, or lending a loan that will never be repaid. What's your experience when someone gives? Okay, what ways of being do we experience? Okay, joy, love, happiness, excitement, possibilities. It's right on the board. Okay, perfect. What else? What else do we feel when, what's our experience when with someone who gives? Yes, certainly. What do you mean by that? Tell me more. What's up with that? Let's see. All right, just to follow up with that, what does giving provide to the world? What does giving provide to the world when, again, people give to the pantry, mothers give to their babies, people give to the community? What does it produce? Babies, love, community, schools, education, a bright future. All right, so let's read what's in the easel board. Joy, love, happiness are the experiences, the ways of being, and they produce babies, families, communities, schools, possibilities. That's giving. And when you think about it, what conversations generate giving? What conversations, because everything starts with the word, what conversations generate giving? Consider that giving is generated by being source, by being responsible. When you say everything's in an abundant mindset, there's enough for everybody. When your contribution matters and you think, okay, this small thing doesn't save the world, but I matter. And your your conversation is about enrollment, creating win-win and sharing. That's giving. Now let's shift to taking. Again, imagine the same line. There were poor people, those less fortunate, who were not giving, but they were taking. The pantry, the community pantry, lasted for a couple of weeks. It was regenerated because people took only what they need. Now, imagine some people taking more and leaving nothing to others. Is that possible? Certainly. So, what's your experience when you're with someone who takes and takes and takes and takes? Doesn't give, takes more than what they need. What's your experience? Anger. Yes, let's write it down. Anger. Frustration. Confusion. What else? What else? Disbelief, disconnected. Yes, these are all ways of being we experience when people are taking. Yeah, if they take some and exactly what they need, that's fine. And even if it's not enough for their needs, but they consider others as well, then taking is what it is. But what does taking and taking and taking produce in the world? Conflict, envy, wars, separation. Yes, these are all things. So let's read it again on the board. Taking produces ways of being that are anger, jealousy, conflict, confusion, disagreement. And what it produces in the world, that taking is conflict, war, divorce, disconnection, dispute. So what conversations generate taking? Why do people take more than what they need or don't leave anything left for those after them? Okay. Because they're coming from a victim mentality. I don't have enough and it's scarce, so I'll take as much as I can. And it doesn't really matter because I'm just small. So that thinking of scarcity and victim and it doesn't really matter and I don't own that behavior, that produces taking. So if standing as a giver, your conversation on what you're committed to is what can I contribute? In taking, what's in it for me? Now think about it. Which is more empowering to you to create possibilities? Thinking what you can contribute or always thinking, okay, what's in it for me first? Tell me, before I give my commitment, before I do, before I be, tell me. The only difference, and there's no difference between us and the great givers in the world, the Martin Luther Kings, the the Mahatma Gandhis, even Manny Pacquiao. Did you know that documents show that Manny Pacquiao, the poor, undernourished kid from Jensan, actually earned in his 26-year career 30 billion pesos. That's more than $1 billion a year. And what did he do? 30% he gave up. So for that 30 billion, he gave away 10 billion. You will wonder, what? Really? Is he crazy? Did he change the world for those who benefited from his 10 billion? I would think so. Then, during the pandemic, he gave away money again to people who were sick, who were in need, 2 billion. So from 30, he gave away 10, he gave away 2 during the pandemic, he had 18. And again, based on my research, Sources say he's still worth 13 billion. 13 billion pesos. But he gave away 70. Did that make a difference? That shows that he's an ordinary person with an extraordinary commitment to giving. That's what makes a difference. So, what's the point of this conversation? Imagine, would you want to know how people experience you? Whether they experience you as a giver or a taker. Why does it matter? Because we can shift and create a lot of possibilities, not just for us, but for others. If we are aware that we come in with a conversation that is empowering in what can I contribute? I'm being sourced, everything is abundant, and I do matter. Versus I'm a taker, and what's in it for me? I'm victim, there's very scarce resources, and never mind, I don't matter, and I don't own up to what I take. Think about it. And we do have an exercise in advance where we get people to stand in front of you and just ask or just tell you, in their experience, are you a giver or a taker? A giver or a taker? A giver or a taker? And you will be surprised that what you feel you are may be different from how people experience you. What's the point of this discussion? The point is knowing the impact and empowerment that giving provides the world and the experience of the way of being it provides us and those with us, then the objective may be considered that our way of being will become a giver. Don't you agree? Giving and taking, they're both there. We get to choose to give and make a difference in this world. What kind of difference? The difference that helps, moves, touches, and inspires people, where create things that weren't going to happen, and getting others to join us on the field, and others join them as well, to our noble cause in a place where everyone wins. Thank you.